G'day trendsetters. Today I'm coming to you from the headquarters of Parlee Carbon Fiber Bicycles, founded in 2000 by Mr. Bob Parlee. Rest in peace, Bob. He unfortunately passed away just last week around the time of this video. This company is based in Beverly, Massachusetts. I'm going to meet my long-time friend, Tom. He has been with the company many years, and of interest, the Parlee Tobacco is the very first bike I ever reviewed. So enough banging on, let's go inside and meet Tom and get a tour of Parlee headquarters. There's our man Tom. Mate?
I'm Tom Rodi. I've been with Parlee Cyclist for a little bit over 20 years. I am the product manager, so my job is to try to get all these cool bikes to market as fast as we can. Welcome. It's good to see you. So this is our sales and marketing office. If you follow me this way, this is our business and design office. This is our CEO, John Harrison.
Hey, I thought he'd be in the office hiding out.
That's where I normally am.
He's doing some work.
Pretending.
Good.
Yeah. So this is where we do most of our supply chain and design work. And behind me on this side, what you'll see is a little bit of our history up here. So going back to the early days of the founding of the company, right around the year 2000. We start with some of Bob's earliest creations. And you know, you can kind of see it's always been about carbon. It's always been about you know, really clean, classic lines. You know, honest, show your work kind of construction, and you know, proud to say, you know, we still do some of the things that, you know, we started 25 years ago. We still do some of the things the same way. To my left here, up on the wall, is a bike that's not a Parlee in branding. It's actually branded Look. This was raced by Tyler Hamilton in 2002. It's kind of a cool story. Tyler's from Marblehead, which is right down the street, and kind of got to know Bob, and you know, heard Bob was making some pretty cool bikes, and ended up asking Bob to build him a bike or two, and Bob built a bunch of bikes that year and the year after that that were branded with other brands and kind of became a cool part of our history. And then what you'll see kind of further down the wall is just kind of an evolution. This was our Z1, then went to our Z2, Z3, and then you'll see our Z4 and our Z5. So kind of a heritage of about, I don't know, 10 or 15 years of history here. So we like to keep these things up on the wall, kind of remember, you know, where we came from.
I love the panel paint job. That's always been a kind of a
classic
hallmark of Parlee. I remember
in
your bikes.
It's something that we started doing, I don't know, maybe 2003, 2004, and you know, we still do variants of that nowadays. So it's kind of cool. So this is Nick, our supply chain manager. Keeping all the moving parts moving, right?
You're trying.
So welcome. This is the, you know, the production and design side of the shop. This is our crew. We've got Chris, we've got Ramel, we've got Lyndall, we've got Jordan. And you know, this is really where the bikes kind of start out. And so, as I was saying earlier, all we do is composites. That's our history. And you can kind of see, you know, this is the actual material getting made into a tube. Jordan's making a C-tube today, or a bottom bracket?
This is a part of a C-tube.
C-tube slash bottom bracket. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Got a chain stay going on to, or seat stays.
Cool. So all the cut pieces that you see here, my colleague Lyndall actually cuts them right here on our Automatrix cutter. And she's going to run a quick cut here. So that giant spool of unidirectional carbon, it'll get a little loud here. raw material comes in spools. You know, we cut it, you know, typically we're going to cut, you know, 2 to 3 bikes worth of material at a time. You know, we try to work in kind of small batches like that, just for, you know, quality. Yeah, go ahead. She'll show you. So what you can see here in these pieces is the unidirectional, has a paper backing, and you can see the fibers at an axis. And you know, the Parlee ride quality is really driven by the manipulation of the axis of these fibers, and that's kind of the secret sauce. You know, yes, we use high quality material, but we're not using anything so special that you know, anyone else can't have access to. Our secret formula to get the ride quality we want is how we align the plies, and it's really the axis of the plies that really matter. So the manipulation of the angles is the key to, you know, kind of our formula. After the pieces are cut, you know, just looping back, you can kind of see the steel tool, the steel molds that Jordan and Lyndall use to make the parts, and you can see there's a very elaborate layup process. And you can see the bladders here. These will be inflated. I'll show you that in a second. These will be inflated to put pressure, and you can feel these molds. You know, they're a little warm. They're being preheated. That helps with the layup process. You know, to soften the carbon a little bit to allow it to conform. It's you know, you can touch it. It's a warming process. You know, the curing process is a lot harder. That's approximately a 250-degree process. You don't want to touch the tools when they're being cured. So it's a combination, like I said, mostly unidirectional. There is some woven fiber in certain areas of the part of each of the parts, and it's really a kind of a, you know, a combination of what's needed in each spot. So we'll leave kind of the clean side or the layup side for the fabrication side of the shop. And this is where we do the cutting, the sanding, anything that might create dust. We're going to do it on this side of the building. And we have, you know, a physical barrier to the other side. But on this side, you'll also see we've got 2 machines we know affectionately as Big Blue and Little Blue. These are our dust collection equipment. There's another one over here. Basically, anytime we're sanding or grinding, you know, we want to have active dust collection to try to obviously keep everyone safe and keep the workplace clean. The other thing that we're going to do here, and you know, you've been to other frame builders, you'll recognize frame building jigs, right? And so here is where we're going to cut and miter or cope, as some people would call it, the tubes for the fabrication. And you know, behind us here, we've got a couple bridge ports, a couple Kearney and Trekkers, and these are just beautiful old classic machines. And we use them just for cutting the tubes. The big difference versus, you know, if you were going to, you know, a titanium shop or a steel shop, is we're cutting with diamond hole saws, whereas, you know, if you were cutting a steel, aluminum, or you would use a, you know, like a bimetal or similar hole saw. So what you were seeing Jordan lay up was actually this part. So this is a chainstay module after it's been cured. So we use a hybrid molding process, which is a combination of compression molding and bladder molding. And this allows us to basically replace a lot of what used to be metal in a part like this, because we're almost forging the carbon in these areas, like the brake area and the dropout area, with high pressure in our, I think it's a 200-ton press that we have. So the thing that we're really meticulous, and is kind of part of our formula, is that we lay up with an incredible amount of skill and care in the process. And so that's, for us, it's getting the fiber orientation the way we want it, but also doing it very patiently and very skillfully. And you can kind of see with something like this tube, this is pretty close. I mean, obviously it has to be put into the bike, but this is pretty close to what the finished bike will look like. And we're one of the few bike companies to produce a carbon fiber bike that shows the natural fiber And so you can purchase this bike and our stock bikes, our Ouray and our Taos, with no paint, and that's completely unique in the market. So we just have basically a UV treatment that just protects this from UV, but all the fiber is all there to see, nothing covering it. I mean, we love cool paint. We'll show you that in a minute. So sometimes it is fun to cover it, but we like the ability, we like the fact that all of our bikes can be purchased with a raw finish. This is a Z0. This is a customer. You can see it's a custom design that has just been demolded. And so all the pieces that we were showing you a minute ago, of all the molded pieces, they've been fused together with our proprietary process. And what's super unique and special about the Parlee process is we use the same material cut on that same table to form these joints. And there's no third-party material in there. There's no fillers. There's no epoxies. There's no glue. We just form these joints out of carbon. And that's why these joints are so sleek and minimalist and frankly light, yet strong, is that it's the same material. And so you effectively have a monocoque or a one-piece design after this bike is formed. So yeah, this will be a little bit of sanding work still to be done here, a little bit of finishing work, but this bike should be in the paint shop by the end of the week, and we'll head there next. Welcome to the Parlee Paint Lab. Parlee Paint Lab was started, I think it was 2007 or 2008. Prior to that, we had been outsourcing our paint, and we just wanted to get more control and bring a little more artistry to it. So we started pretty small with a single bay, and over the years we've grown it. We've got 2 full-size bays here, and we have a couple full-time painters. You can see some RZ7s getting painted here, and then let me introduce you to Cody. So this is Cody. He's been here almost as long as I have, and he's the kind of mad scientist or genius behind our custom paint lab. So Cody, what do we got going on here?
So this is candy gold over galaxy gray, mixed in with a candy green over the carbon. So this is the new Ouray, all raw carbon, showing it all off.
Yeah, so like I was showing you upstairs with the Z0, where we're showing, we like to say show our work, like our math teacher used to say to us, So we're showing all the work on this, and similar to the Z0, the Ouray and the Taos, you can have all the fiber visible. And so this really allows you to do, not just have the cool wax nude finish, but if you want to do cool stuff in custom paint where you can see the fiber underneath, you can do that. So like what Cody was saying is, gloss in the back, candy in the middle, and then solid in the front. You can kind of see the glow there. There it is.
It's all the raw carbon underneath the candy green.
So now, Cody, is this bike finished, or what do you still have to do on this bike? I mean, it's clearly not ready to go to the customer.
Flattening out all the logos and bringing it back to a shine, and then it will be ready to ship out.
Okay. So from this point, how much more work is there to do?
Be ready by the end of today.
Oh, cool. So I'd love to just introduce our 2 new bikes. We're really excited. We have a new all-road bike. It's called the Ouray. That was introduced in April of this year. And we have an all-new gravel bike called the Taos that we just introduced at Eurobike this year. So we're really excited. 2 all-new platforms for us. So for us, the last, I think it's 7 or 8 years, the Chabaco has been our best-selling bike. It's really one of the early gravel bikes, and a lot of success with that. And but you keep thinking, hey, what do you want to do next? What people are asking us for different things, and we had developed with our custom shop here, we had kind of developed what we called next generation geometry. We had been taking our Chabacos and riding them on a lot of things like single track, places where you really shouldn't take them. And so we decided to develop geometry really for that type of riding. And that's what led us to Taos. So there's kind of 3 key elements that are different from a Chabaco and different from what I would consider other first generation gravel bikes. First is the top tube is longer, on average somewhere between 2 and 3 centimeters per size. The head tube is slacker, anywhere from 1 to 3 degrees depending on the size. The other thing is the bottom bracket's lower, and there's a lot more top tube slope. And that was something that people have been asking us for, you know, where the Chabaco was more traditional in terms of, I think it was 7 or 8 degrees slope. And so in kind of technical situations, people just wanted more clearance. And also addressing, one of the things that we heard a lot from dealers was, you know, we wanted the dealers wanted a bike that fit a wider range of people. And so that was a big push. We actually added an extra size. We went to 6 sizes instead of 5. And with the more aggressive top tube slope and lower bottom bracket, the addressable fit parameters of this have really increased. So I think, you know, people that are even slightly below 5 feet and people who are maybe 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" will fit this bike. It's a really a great fitting bike. You can kind of see at the front there, tons of tire clearance. This is a 40 millimeter on the bike right here, but this bike will take up to a 50 millimeter. So I just want to show you the internal storage on the Taos. Really simple. We tried to go for a really simple, clean, elegant solution, and it's real simple. Just pop this button, and off it comes.
That is the easiest method I've seen. Most have a sliding latch.
We tried to keep it simple, you know, and so, you know, 2 really nice bags. Pull them out. One for your tools, and then another one up here. If you're still an inner tube person, and I like to ride with the backup inner tube even though I'm tubeless, just in case. Another bag for your tube there, and then very simple. There you go. One of the details, I mean, this is just to show you inside the storage compartment on the Taos, and you can see the finish on the inside is as nice as the finish on the outside, and that's something that we've always worked hard on, you know, in terms of, you know, making the best bikes is, you know, putting the carbon into the molds with care and precision, and, you know, using the best bladder technology to get, you know, a great finish. And it's, you know, yes, cosmetically that's cool, but what that's also showing is that you're getting great compaction. So, you know, the fiber is where it's supposed to be, and it's got great pressure on it, which means it's a well-made frame. You can see this one's been ridden by a bunch of the folks in the shop. This is the one by. This has the Eagle transmission, and I didn't show it to you on the other one, but all the new bikes are UDH compatible. So this has the direct mounter transmission with the Eagle. We have the other model with the new, other version of this with the new Red Explorer, which is a really cool new drivetrain. So all internal, hidden cabling, you know, modern front end, and it's a completely what we call modular open system. And you can see right over here on the table, I laid them out here. We include all these top caps with the system. So there is NV, there is FSA, and there is Pro, and then there's an open cap system. So if you wanted to run, you know, a regular stem, you can run it with it semi, and so it's internal, but it can also be semi-external at the bar if you want the cables external at the bar. And one of the cool things I just want to show, something that we worked on a lot, just a subtle refinement, is this is the internal race that actually touches your steerer tube. And this is what a typical race looks like. And so this is a lot smaller with a lot sharper edges. Ours is a lot larger, a lot more surface area, and all the edges have been softened. This is a lot more forgiving on a steerer tube. And plenty of people have had issues with these over the time, marking or scoring their steerer tube. And this is something that we came up with to just, you know, make the bike last longer and, you know, safer and more durable. So this is the actual bare frame. And what's really cool, as I was saying earlier, this bike is available almost exactly how you see it here. The only difference is we have a UV coating on it, but this is it as it comes out of the mold. And this can, you know, there's a huge advantage to having a bike with a nude finish. It's something that we started doing almost 15 years ago. And it's the most low maintenance bike finish you can have. There's nothing to chip or scratch. There's really the surface treatment. You should really wipe it down with a very simple wax about once a year. So it's a very low maintenance finish. It's super easy to clean, and you know it's just a great thing if you really ride your bike and you beat the crap out of your bike, you travel with your bike. So I just want to also show you, this is our Z0 or Z0 for some of my friends, XD, which is the gravel version of our custom platform. So what we saw in the Jig earlier was a road frame being built, but the construction process is very similar. The fabrication philosophy is very similar, and you can see, much like the Ouray and the Taos, raw finish. You see all the work, all the carbon is showing, you know, just natural beauty. You can see all the hard work that, you know, Ramel and Lindell and Jordan have put into this bike. So what's cool about this bike, and is really, you know, unique in the market, is that this is one of the few, maybe on one hand you can think of, who can make a gravel bike with custom geometry in carbon. And so that's something that we've been doing for a long time. Bike has a beautiful ride quality, and you know, obviously again, the raw finish or, you know, custom paint option, you can have it look exactly how you want it. One of the other bikes I wanted to show you after being in the paint shop is this is a Ouray with a custom candy blue finish on it, and this is a pretty typical custom paint in the sense that it's mixing elements, and so there's a clear coat candy over the carbon you can see through, and then there's some areas where it's opaque, and so we use opaque colors underneath the candy to kind of create this contrast. And unfortunately, it's a pretty typical fall Boston day. It's a little gray outside, but you know, this almost looks black inside, but you go outside in the sun and this thing just explodes. So it's one of the really cool things about, like I was saying, about this Ouray and Taos platform, is that you can have the raw finish, you can have that kind of simple thing, or you can go super flashy with custom Parlee Paint Lab paint. Thanks so much for coming. Really appreciate you paying a visit, and please check out our bikes on our website, parleecycles.com, and on social media at Parlee Cycles.
Trendsetters, that wraps up my tour of Parlee Cycles. Many thanks to Tom and the crew of Parlee Cycles for their time. The brand Parlee Cycles has been very near and dear to my heart ever since Tom first approached me way back in early 2016 about reviewing the Parlee Tobacco. My first time ever reviewing a bicycle. Obviously a lot has changed since that time, from bike design to everything else we're seeing in the world of gravel cycling and beyond. Still to come, I have another factory tour video posting soon, which you should enjoy, and some fantastic ride experience videos, and of course many other review bikes coming. They're in the hopper. As always, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel for interesting factory tour videos such as this one, real world, no bull gravel bike reviews, other product reviews, ride experience videos, and of course, how can I forget, general madness. What the heck am I doing with my life? Oh yeah, it's pretty bloody awesome. I'll see you in the next video.